The Iran war just entered a dangerous new stage where ceasefires are no longer ceasefires and they're being ignored. Iran just ignored the ceasefire that had been on hold, that has been announced several times by the US president, cabinet members, by everybody. Has been announced several times a ceasefire that was proceeding into peace, that was actually progressing to achieving peace and achieving an open Strait of Hormuz. But that's not what's going to come to pass. At least at this stage, it hasn't been what came to pass because Iran just attacked Israel. Iran sent, I think it was, I don't know if it was, I don't know the exact number, but a ton of missiles on top of Israel. Israel, of course, defended all of them, apparently with the interceptors. But Iran really violated the ceasefire there, and we don't know exactly what it was over. Maybe it was over Lebanon, maybe it was over some other attacks that happened. And of course, to them, there were attacks that happened during the ceasefire, but of course, the U.S. considered that that didn't violate the ceasefire. Right? The president of several people said that those attacks were minor, and so they didn't violate ceasefire. And beyond that, what happened was that Lebanese attacks also were proceeding. Of course, Israel took a castle in Lebanon, which is a crusade castle back from the time of the Crusades, apparently. And they've proceeded into the Lebanese territory. Of course, what they're saying is that the attacks are very targeted now. They're not large scale civilian attacks in civilian cities, but Iran just ignored that. I mean, Iran just said, "I'm going to attack right now," and they attacked. Of course, apparently there were no casualties, no real damage, since they were able to send interceptors to take out the Iranian missiles, but also an escalation. Does that mean that now Iran is going to ignore ceasefires completely because they consider that their partners are not going to follow them at all? Is that what's going to happen? Is diplomacy just completely destroyed? There's no possibility for diplomacy anymore? Well, we don't know about any of that. But about the Strait of Hormuz, of course, Oman had been considering a joint action with Iran in order to control the strait and sort of allow passage on their terms, regulate it. But the US, President Trump said that if Oman does it, then well, we're going to have to bomb them too. And so that was a really scary threat because I don't think Oman has threats of developing a nuclear weapon or anything like that, which was alleged by about Iran. So it'd be a major escalation. But I think what's happening is remarkable. I think it will be very negative for Iran, but for other parties as well, because this war has been very negative, of course, for Iran. The damage they have incurred is tremendous. The loss of life they have incurred is tremendous. And so we have to hope for peace. We all hope for peace. And it is a great sadness that the ceasefire did not hold so far, and that there have been several violations, both attacks by Iran, attacks on Lebanon, attacks to Iran, attacks on Iran, and from Iran, and everybody's just ignoring it. Apparently, they cannot trust anymore any agreement they have with the other party. And the breakdown of diplomacy, of course, makes the conflict not look so pretty into the future. But all I can hope for is that diplomacy is somehow restored. We have to pray for that. And this conflict ends peacefully, the strait is reopened, and that we can have normal oil flow so that people don't have to pay an absurdity for gas, an absurdity for plane tickets, because the prices for fuel, for jet fuel, are horrific. They don't have to pay more for everyday goods because the price of diesel, that which the trucks are going to use, is so much more expensive. So let's hope for the best, but this is just an update on something that just happened today.